Hey, it's Brian here, resident PhantomBuster coach and product expert, and I'm here to invite you to the next installment of our Ask an Expert webinar series on Tuesday, the 15th of April at 5 p.m. Central European Time. During the webinar, which is going to be hosted by myself, Sophie, our Community and Education Manager, and Nathan, our Client Growth Partner, we're going to be exploring the first pillar in our lead generation framework that we laid out in the previous webinar. So in our last webinar, we walked through a 4-pillar framework to help us build out our lead generation strategy. During this webinar, we're going to focus on the first pillar, which is all about how to grow the right network. What we're going to look at is what the objective is within this pillar, why we want to achieve that objective, what we can do and how we can do it, and what our key focus should be when we're actually setting up an automation like this. And really importantly, which is something that we miss a lot, is what are the KPIs that we should be focusing on when we're running a pillar like this? And how do we measure success and make sure that we're improving all the time and optimizing our workflow? We'll then move on to a practical example and the methodology involved in setting up a workflow like this within our first pillar. So we're going to focus here on creating a dynamic Sales Navigator search. We're then going to look at how we use that dynamic search in a workflow that's set up to serve the objectives of pillar 1. That's a 2-step workflow, which is a Sales Navigator search export and a LinkedIn outreach. And what this is going to allow us to do is constantly feed in new ICP leads into the top of our funnel. So we'll walk through each one of the steps and what's involved in setting it up and what are the key features and settings we need to look at. And then we'll be happy to answer any questions that you have regarding how you can set this up for yourself. As ever, during our webinars, we're really interested to hear what your use cases are or any questions that you might have about how to get the most out of PhantomBuster for your lead generation strategy. So if you're interested in finding out more or asking some questions, register for the webinar Tuesday, the 15th of April at 5 p.m. Central European Time.